We're live. Nick Ryker, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How the heck are you?
Dude, I'm better than I've been in months. How are you?
I can't wait to hear about it. I mean, I know about it. I mean, we
Yeah.
talk enough, but I just want to formally kind of dive in and how you're actually doing, because last time we had you on a Torque Talk, it's been like a journey since then.
Yeah.
We had you leading into Jacksonville and then right after Jacksonville, and you were like primed and ready
Uh-huh.
to hit this. And we were thinking, all right, top 5 finish, that would be a goal that would be reasonable for you and like your fitness level at this time.
Yeah.
And I remember you said to me like leading into the race, like, oh, I kind of think I have like a stomach bug, but I'll be fine. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, seems like you will be fine. But also at the same time, like when that type of stuff happens,
Yeah.
it's hard to like really mentally be ready for the race. And then you finish what, like 11th?
Yep.
Only one place, 1-1. Only one place worse than last year. No points in the no payout, no money for the
No.
national series.
I didn't get that $100.
You missed out on that $100 2 years ago in 2019. I finished 11th, but then that was when Woods was doing his Woods thing, cheating, grabbing the truss, and then it bumped me up from 11th to 10th, $100 right there. So thank you, Ryan Woods, for that. But as you came home from the race, the stomach bug didn't really go away, and it took a long time to kind of really get to the bottom of what was going on. And at that point, you came up with a diagnosis for you. So just kind of take us through like what had happened since that point.
So yeah, we didn't know what was happening to me. Me and my primary care physician, my PCP, and usually a PCP would be like, we'll just send you off to some specialty. But this woman, she wanted to work. She was determined to figure out what was wrong with me. So that kind of delayed the process, because a PCP can only do so much, because it's the specialties that really they got the CAT scan, they do all the tests and stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of pain in my stomach, in my lower right side, lower left side. And, I had bloody diarrhea, like I talked about, for weeks. And when I was talking to my doctor, I said, I have so much pain in my lower right side. She thought it was an appendicitis that was about to happen. She goes, go to the ER right now, go. So I went to the ER, wasn't appendicitis, got a CAT scan. They said, your large intestines are just inflamed, 3 times the size they're supposed to be. They're inflamed. And it's most likely it's ulcer colitis. And I've never even heard of ulcer colitis. I've heard of Crohn's disease. I didn't know those were two of the same thing. So a week after I was in the ER, at this point, it's 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks after Jacksonville, and I've already lost 15 pounds at this point. I wasn't eating. I already lost 15 pounds. And a week after I was in the ER, I got released. I had a colonoscopy. And then, colonoscopy confirmed what we all thought was ulcer colitis. And, after that, I was like, okay, I know what it is. I got a plan. 4 weeks and I'm back. Back in 4 weeks. That was my plan. Easy money. I was looking up. I was just looking up the web, and I was like, oh, there's medication for this thing. 20 years ago, there was nothing. Now there's medication. So that was my mindset. I was 4 weeks and I'm back. And if you listen to a Running Public podcast I was on, that was not the case. It was months. And, I'm still having symptoms of it. I still have symptoms. It doesn't really go away, but much better now. But next thing you know, couple more weeks go by after the colonoscopy. I'm taking up to 12 pills a day, prescribed medicine pills a day. I'm on different medication. I'm on different steroids. I'm on different probiotics. I'm on different vitamins. I'm doing blood work every other day, it seems like, to make sure my body's fine. And next thing you know, I've lost 25 pounds and I can barely do anything. This living room I'm in, and you see right here, I was stuck in this living room for 10 weeks. All I did was go to work, and I went back here, and I was just stuck because I was afraid to go anywhere that didn't have a bathroom, and I looked horrible. Like my brother tried to like cheer me. I was like, hey, come do this with us. Come do like, let's get you out of the house. I was like, I physically cannot get out of the house. I can't move. I can't even walk my dog hardly. Any ounce of energy I had was gone because I couldn't sleep because I was having to go to the bathroom 10 to 12 times a night. Like every half hour, every hour, I was waking up and having to go to the bathroom to take to poop. I had diarrhea. I had no energy in me, and I couldn't eat. Looking up, everybody was telling me what diet I should do, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Whatever I eat does not stay in me, and it does not give me any nutrients. So, I mean, that was 10, 12 weeks of my life, basically. And out of nowhere, I started feeling better. I started getting on an IV medication called Ativio. And one day I was like, oh, I'm feeling better. I went on a long bike ride. I work at a gym. I started doing workouts at our gym, but I still weighed nothing. And then out of nowhere, I gained all my weight back. Like it seemed like overnight. And yeah.
Like you're saying out of nowhere, but like
it was literally I got up. So I was down to 148 and comfortably, I am a comfortable 175 to 180 guy. In Jacksonville, I was 178 pounds, and I got down all the way to 148. And I remember looking at that day. It was like the second week of May, and I'm at 148 pounds, and we're going on almost 3 months of this, 2.5 months of this. And I remember thinking, I am never going to get better. Mm-hmm. Like nothing I can eat is helping me. Like I'm drinking protein shakes all day. Nothing I can do is helping me. And then a week goes by, and I feel I'm getting better. I got an IV in me. Then the drug and the medication's working a little bit finally. And I started doing our workouts at our gym, and I put on maybe like 5 pounds. And then another week I do the workouts at our gym, and I put on like 2 or 3 pounds. And then a weekend goes by, and I'm up to 170 out of nowhere. And I'm eating. Things are staying in me. I have a bathroom schedule. Like everything comes close to normal. And I think it's just that IV, the drug called Ativio, and then finally like getting rid of all the junk food in my life, getting rid of anything else that's, I still don't have the perfect diet in the world, but it's like we've talked about it a lot, Rich. Like I didn't have a great diet before this. So it's a small blessing that I've gotten a lot better at it. And I still don't think it's the diet that's doing a lot. I think it's just my body finally, I did a lot of intermittent fasting. I did a lot of studying on people with ulcerative colitis, how they got better. And they're like, hey, it's a muscle. You got to give your muscle time to rest. So I do intermittent fasting now. Like you were talking on the Running Public not too long ago. Now it's kind of just eating windows. So like I eat from like 12 to 7. So you get 7 hours of eating. So quick math right here. That's what, 19? No, what? How many other hours in a day?
What hours? What hours were you?
I don't know. Why am I blanking right here?
Specifics not that important.
Yeah.
Either way.
17 hours. 17 hours of not eating. Kind of like what I'm going for. Yeah. So it's just giving you, and I'm learning the morning is where the body detox, basically. So just try to flush everything out of me in the morning, and I'm good usually for the rest of the day. And just the drugs, the diet, the intermittent fasting, trying to get more active, everything just came back together. And I feel like it went overnight.
So shout out to Ativio. See if they need any brand ambassadors. But so when you got, and I'm sure like you're obviously becoming a student of this, right? Like looking at how to clean up things, taking the diet into your own hands, doing the intermittent fasting to figure out what would be the optimal window, and flushing things out in the morning so that you can kind of get your day started on the right foot. So like, did the doctors have any explanation? Did you ask them? You're like, hey, what happened? Were they just like,
No, if you do all the research in the world, nobody is going to have an idea why this happens. They say like Western civilization, like the Western diet, how we live and our culture we live, can cause it. Mm-hmm. But you get people that get Crohn's or people get ulcerative colitis, they develop it a lot of times in their mid-20s. and it comes out of nowhere. I mean, I have family history of digestion problems, like grandparents on my mom's side had colon cancer. I recently found out, like not recently, but like when I got diagnosed recently, my grandpa on my dad's side has ulcerative colitis. He just never talked about it ever. Like he had it really bad for like I did. He had it really bad for like 3 or 4 months, and he was good for 50 years now. So there's family history of it in me.
And is it like a remission? Are you worried that it's going?
Yeah, that is a big. So it is. The doctor said we just got to get you in remission. Get you in remission. But the thing of remission, I don't want to, compare this to cancer at all, because cancer is way worse. Anything like I'm fine. Cancer patients go through a lot more, but it's kind of like that. Their goal is to get a remission, and there's always a chance for something to come back. And I don't know who it was, but I did some research on this really successful ultra runner, and he goes, "I live 1 month at a time." He says, "I don't plan a race, 100-mile race a year in advance like you're supposed to." He goes, "I don't know if I'll be able to race. I don't know if symptoms are going to come back and whatever." So that's really scary. And this Entyvio medicine, it's really not covered by any insurance. It's really not covered by my insurance right now. And I'm just thankful that my parents are still able to help me out in that way. But and I'm getting to that age, it's first world problems where I'm getting off my parents' insurance soon. So I'm going to have to start this whole process again of trying to maybe get it covered, but then paying for my own. So I might have to go off of that because it's expensive.
Yeah, and I mean that's a whole other conversation about the pitfalls of our medical system, which I have a lot of
I've had opinions about that for years,
and I'm sure you could bang your head against the wall, like how frustrating it has been. But ultimately, things are in a better spot, right? So and we don't have to rehash the whole entire process. Like you did a great job of that on the Running Public, fantastic episode. So go back and people can go back and listen to that to catch like the whole kind of story. And that was kind of, you were sick then.
I was very sick. I was just started a new job at my work. I was still under 155 pounds, not doing a lot, going to the bathroom a lot, scared to drive anywhere. Like that was at the end of April. They interviewed me, and pretty sick. Yeah.
So from that time to now, and just talking to you as much as I do, I know that like you're feeling much more optimistic. You're working, you're training, you're like actually running, you're like having some like ideas of like, hey, when's a realistic time to like go out and do some races and stuff. So where's your head at now? How you feeling in general?
I mean, I feel like, I try to make this the greatest thing that could happen to me. Like, I don't want to get emotional at all, but, like I said, I didn't have a good diet. I didn't have a healthy eating lifestyle. I only focused about training. That was my whole life. I didn't really think about a career at all. I didn't care about a social life at all. And then when all that was taken from me, like racing and all this, it kind of made you step back like, whoa, I'm not a racer. I'm a guy who does races. There's a lot of other great things about me than me trying to be a professional athlete. So like I had to look back as like, if this is it, like I'm going to be okay. If this is the worst thing that happens to me and I can't race anymore, I'm going to be okay. It's going to suck, but I'm going to, like, I have a great job at a great organization. I've met amazing friends. I have an amazing family. I'm an uncle, like I was like a step back, like I'm going to be okay. And now since everything's coming back and I'm like, I put so much, I feel like also if you get a very stressful person, can develop ulcerative colitis. Like your body just gets stressed out. And I think that was a part of me leading up to the Jacksonville race. I'm not going to say it was, but I had a theory because I left everything behind. I left a stable job. I left at home living with my parents. I didn't have to worry about anything, very stress-free life. And I quit a job in the middle of pandemic to do a job that's not very secure, but now it is very secure. everything on my own, but with my brother in a new city I didn't know anything about. And I was like, because I was going all in on this dream of mine, and I was getting really stressed out about Jacksonville, about one silly race. Like, if I don't perform, all this was a waste, and I felt very stressed out about that. Now I just feel at ease.
And stress stacks up, right? It's not like one specific instance of like a race that you got too worked up for, but it's all of that, like moving out, like doing this whole thing, starting anew. It's like just stacks on top of each other, and like it compounds. And like you said, that maybe mixed with some of the other lifestyle stuff. Who knows? Like what do you think? Like, what do you think? Because it's interesting that it can be developed or it can be genetic. Do you think it was more diet related, or do you think it was stress related, or do you think it was all kind of tied together?
I think it's all together. I think it's more genetic than anything, because my mom has had digestive issues for a while. I mean, she has inflammatory bowel syndrome, so a lot of inflammation that she's been dealing with for a while, and like her side of the family, it gets it. And I tend to have more genetics on her side than my dad's really healthy side. It's just how my genetic makeup was done. And like she never told me, but she always worried about me developing some kind of thing like she did. So I think it is mostly genetics, but it's all, I mean, you know, and I'm not going to like a diet. I feel like I had a pretty normal mid-20s, like live a healthy, active lifestyle, but you know, you still have like your diet. It's like you eat clean, and then you just pig out sometimes. Like I feel like that was what my diet was. Like nothing crazy, like in a sense of like too healthy, but nothing crazy. Like I was eating junk every day. So that's where like I go back and forth on that.
So can we talk about that a little bit? Like what that looks like in like from a practical standpoint. Like what are some things that you may have been eating a lot of, or there was more of like a staple in your a typical diet that is just like completely removed or picking your spots more or less.
Yeah.
Like I know you mentioned intermittent fasting, which we'll kind of put in its own little bucket. It's like that's a great way to let your body rest and just let it recover. But when you are actually back into feeding and fueling, like what's changed? Like are there a couple things that you've really put a focus on?
Say like, you know, I was never afraid to eat fast food, and now I just don't eat any fast food. And it's like that's a big part of me. Like, you know, I always like look forward to like going to McDonald's, getting a burger. Now that's just gone. Like no more fast food or anything. And then, you know, I still think carbs are king. So I would eat a ton of bread, a ton of white or wheat bread that had gluten in it. And, you know, gluten's gone now, basically out of my lifestyle. I say about 90% gluten free. There's still some things like, oh, I didn't know that had gluten in it, but I'm fine. That's kind of the main to try to be gluten free. Eat a higher protein diet. I don't think I was ever eating a lot of protein, and there's a lot of protein that, I mean, it's just you got to find what works for you, and that is what worked for me of being anti-inflammatory for me. Or like, okay, my body's just not going to reject this like straight into a toilet right now. Like I'm good. So a lot of protein in a lot of just, you know, chicken, a lot of rice now. Food that's going to be anti-inflammatory for me. I did a little like, you know, food inflammation study or whatever, like causes you inflammation. And I was actually kind of pumped about this. Like a lot of vegetables for me apparently gives me inflammation. And I hate vegetables. That's,
like,
I knew a plus.
I knew those vegetables are no good.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So veggies are out, but I mean, and like, you know, the protein stuff makes sense. Probably make you a little more satiated. Probably, and like you got to make those nutrients count when you're getting them in. With the fast food stuff, was it because when you go to a fast food restaurant, it's not just like the burger you're getting.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of sugar in there as well? Were you getting sodas? Like were you?
No, not a big soda guy. You know, I just would eat a lot of it. Honestly, you know, it was cheap. You know, I forget my lunch at home, go to work. It's a lot of fast food places. Boom, right there. Like I mean, that stuff's not healthy for you.
So top 3 fast food restaurants, like what?
Oh, I mean, I do love McDonald's. That's got to be number one.
Love it.
Panda Express.
Does that count? Is that fast food?
I'm counting it. It's fast food.
Do you go in there and sit down, or can you go and just like? There's no drive-through at Panda.
There's drive-through.
Is there? Oh,
yeah. But I actually have looked up okay, how can I get it? So I have had Panda, but I get their white rice and their teriyaki chicken, and it's fine with me. That's all I get.
That works. No chicken and rice at McDonald's.
Yeah, none of that. And then I'm a big Sonic guy.
Sonic.
I do love Sonic. If you want to talk about just chili, cheese, tots, ice cream, butter burgers, bacon. I mean, it's all right there. You can put it all on a sandwich, basically.
Their food is okay, but their ice cream is just like bomb. Mm-hmm. Crazy good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I lean Big Mac. Are you Big Mac?
I've actually never had a Big Mac.
Never had a Big Mac.
I'm just a big McDouble guy. I used to eat 3 or 4, just like boom, right there. McDoubles, $1.
So you're never gonna have a Big Mac in your entire life now?
Yeah.
What was it like? The special sauce or like?
I was like, so there was always a little me. It's like, oh, that's just too unhealthy.
That's where I draw the line.
I was like, okay, that's just too unhealthy.
Well, all right.
Well, I go to Sonic and get a large order of chili cheese tots.
Kids got standards.
Yeah.
There's something like if I get a burger at a restaurant and I never get Big Macs. I don't remember last time I did. I'm not above it, but I just haven't. Yeah. But if I go to a restaurant and the burger tastes like a Big Mac, I'm like, this is an amazing burger. Yeah. This is so good. So with that, then are you cooking more?
Yeah. I'm cooking more.
Are you learning how to cook, or are you just like did you have some things? You have some staples that you whipped out?
It's hard to mess up just chicken and rice, kind of. Chicken and eggs and sausage. Keep it simple. I was always a big pasta eater. What I'm finding out is that gluten-free food costs a heck of a lot more than just non-gluten-free food. Like
as things like this become more, not necessarily mainstream, but there are going to be people who have more gluten intolerances. There more people are going to be diagnosed with celiac and things like that, or UC or Crohn's. It's going to be produced more, I'm sure. I'm hoping that drives the cost down, because
I will say it's came a long way in the taste, because like I said, both my grandparents, my mom's side, had colon cancer, so they took gluten out of their diet, and we would go for Thanksgiving, and I was young, and I was like, this food sucks. And now it's like, okay, gluten-free mac and cheese. I remember at my grandparents' house, this sucks, and now it's like, it's good. Like it's different. Gluten. Have you ever had gluten-free pizza?
Not on purpose.
The cheese it's gluten-free crust when everything just slides off as soon as you hold it open. As soon as you hold it up, everything just slides off.
Whenever I have gluten-free crackers or bread or whatever, there's an airiness to it, right? Because the gluten is what makes the bread get that stretchy consistency. So when it's gone, it's more airy.
Yeah, I get gluten-free tortillas for burritos or whatever I make, and as soon as you just wrap it, it just falls apart. So there's really no point.
Yeah, you gotta switch it out. Yeah. I'll have to send you some the way I make chicken. I used to make chicken just in the slow cooker or just in the oven, and it's hit or miss. It's really can be real bad. But
I just do it on the stovetop, and it's quick, and I think it's good.
Dude, I've been making it where I just pat that thing dry, salt and pepper on each side.
Yep.
And kind of pan fry it almost for a minute on each side, and then just cover it and cook it on low, and it comes out so good. It's amazing. Yeah, cook it on low for 10 minutes, and then I turn it off, and then cook it, and then just let it cook covered with no heat, and it comes out amazing. It's from this cookbook that my fiance is obsessed with, so I'm on board. So
yeah,
you can make chicken and rice and make it taste not that bad.
Yeah. Any way to make it quicker too. So.
Yeah, totally. So now that you're feeling better, you're training a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What's going on in training?
A slow progression. I'm on week 6 basically now of coming back.
Nice.
I still in the mornings, it's still the roughest part of the day for me. I was I need to get the body's just super sensitive to running now. The gut is, I mean, I've always had a pretty sensitive gut when it comes to running a little bit, and now it's just super like sensitive. Like I have a park right across from my house. I do a couple laps there, go to the bathroom a couple times in my house before I go out anywhere, basically, which is nice. I have this nice little half-mile loop. But I just got to make sure I'm good, go out for my runs. I started really slow, like 10 miles a week. Then I went to like 13 and then 20. And then last week I was able to hit 40 miles of pretty good running. Really only one and a half. I call it 1.5 quality days a week. Like I'm still in no rush to get back to anything, but it's a lot of easy runs and a lot of trying to get up hills. And it's been great. I've like fallen, like I told like somebody at my work, is like I hit 40 miles for the first time since early February, and I just feel like I'm back. Like I'm getting back.
Because you're not historically a very high volume runner when it comes to miles.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be. I always had a very like the years are going to progress. And then like 2020, I kind of got hurt, so I was like, okay, I'm going to progress this year, and then I got a setback. So 40 to 45 has been like my cap usually in the years past.
When you were putting that in that type of miles leading into Jacksonville, and that's why I was so excited. It's like, all right, it's good running, some good quality stuff. So like you're on your way back up, man. As you've been coming back up, I mean, so your layoff of running was how long, would you say?
It was 11 weeks.
11 weeks. So that's quite a bit of time. You know, almost 3 months, right?
Yeah.
What was it like?
It's not like I wasn't even able to cross train either. Like I was a vegetable. So it was 11 weeks of doing nothing, getting like 2 miles of walking on my feet, maybe.
Right. Like I got hurt for like 9 weeks and then just was able to hit it double as hard and other things. I came back fine. Like aerobically fine. Physically, like it took a little bit of time to get back into the running part. So I'm sure aerobic stuff does bounce back fairly quick, but the physical part might take a little bit of time to kind of get there. What was that like? Did you have any like aches or pains, or was it just were you just
I hurt my foot, my left side of my foot, because I tried running a little bit before I thought I should, and I was weighing like 162 pounds, and my legs looked like a pencil, and I was like running like a newborn deer, like knees were smacking each other, feet were smacking each other. So like I got like a bad bruise on my left side of my left foot, was kind of caused me concern because that area that I think I just bruised a little bit or damaged. I had a stress fracture there like 3 or 4 years ago. So that kind of was like, oh gosh, I hope I didn't just re-injure that. But other than that, I haven't really had any aches or pains. After that foot healed, I told when I was trying to run at a lighter weight, I was like, this doesn't feel comfortable. I made sure I got at least back up to over 170. And then I was like, boom, I know how to run again. Like foot striking fine, gait feels fine. I'm feeling good. Like I was good to go. Yeah.
And now that you're kind of building back up and you're feeling better, like, where's your head at when it comes to like in terms of like turning a corner? Do you feel like it's full steam ahead, or is there still like caution in the back of your head when you're like approaching what to do next?
It's very cautious still because, like I said, I'm not 100% in remission. Like I still have symptoms of my gut just feeling like I have pain, and I'm going to the bathroom still way more than I ever like used to. Like I'm still like, there's always that like, okay, am I damaging myself trying to go like running this much? But then at the same time, I'm like, your body craves activity. Like I crave being active. So I feel like at the same time, I'm turning this corner to my new chapter like that. My body's is just finally adapting to how it's feeling. You know, it's adapting to a little more sensitive gut. It's adapting to, having to wake up super early to get a good warm up in. Like it's finally just adapting a little bit.
That's interesting. That's a good way to look at it, right? Like, cause it's like thinking of it as like training, like you're just taking on a new adaptation it's like a new stimulus that you're having to take on. So you're just like learning how like your body's like learning how to deal with this. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes sense to me. So, but like,
I'm definitely turning the corner. I mean, there's always going to be that small part of me saying, Nick, what are you trying to prove? Like, you don't have to be doing this. But at the same time, it's like, this is what I still feel like this is what I was made to do. And this is what my body needs to do to heal.
And dude, you had this whole experience that like you were kind of thrust into to really put it in perspective as like what you're doing here, right? Like, and it sounds like you came out regardless if you were going to be able to race or not, you were going to be fine. Like you said that, right? It's like, I'm good to go. A lot to be grateful for. But now it's like money in the bank, you know. Now you already have that perspective. Where it probably takes something like this, because it's going to happen to us all, you know, or we all can't race and train at a high level for forever, but it just happened to you in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And now you have that, and now it's all money in the bank, right? Like this new perspective on like training and racing. It's only, I would bet it's only going to be beneficial for your mindset in terms of competition and your results from competition, because it's not like I'm a racer, so I need to race. And if I don't race well, what's that say about me?
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
No, it's like, it's a very free feeling. Now, anytime like I get on a podium, do well, that's just, you know, that's a bonus in my life. It's not my life. This is just a little, hey, that was cool. It's a good memory. It's like my dad told me, what a lot of people tell me. Talked to Kirk a lot, because Kirk went through something like this in his early 20s. Kirk DeWitt, and it's just like, you know, you can either use this to just set yourself back for the rest of your life, or you use this to be a tougher person and become better. And there was weeks there that I just didn't want to I didn't want to be tough. I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to complain. But then I just like snapped out of it. And a lot of people reach out to me, which I think was very, very, I needed that. Like I've always been like, I do this for myself. I don't do this for anybody else. Like I'm good. You know, I don't need somebody to like say, come on, Nick, you can do this. Like I'm good. Like I'm very self-motivating. But to have over like 100 people DM me saying, hey, we're rooting for you. Like we want you back out there. It's like, okay, let's stop being a little baby about this. Like I had every right to be, but let's stop being a little baby about this, and let's have a good mindset. And once I said that, that's when I think it just all started to turn.
And it's something to be said about like how to handle the emotions, how to feel the emotions, and then how to just like make sense of them. And you need to take that time. You couldn't have shoved it off right from the jump. Like then that was just like, that didn't seem to be like an appropriate way to handle this. Like it's like a trauma that you are handling physically and mentally. So yeah, it takes time to kind of process and work your way through it. So it seems like a whole hell of a lot of growing happened in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah. I feel like I put another 2 years of my life, like mental toughness on me. So
considering you like just moved to Nashville, it's like that was that was earlier this year, wasn't it? Or no.
It was like we're coming up on a year in August.
It will be a whole year.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
A year just flies by, sir. So like, it sounds like, you know, and the theme that we just kind of touched on is like figuring out ways that things are going to change in your life in general, and how that is going to, you know, and how it was and now how it is based off necessity. Are you feeling much more regimented? Are you feeling much more like kind of like leading life more of like discipline and putting things in the boxes and like having to check them off? Were you like that before, or now are you forced to like really be regimented with your time because of like, you know, just like the new routines that you have?
I feel like I'm more regimented. I feel like I was very like organized, like planning out my days in past, but now I don't know. That's a pretty tough question to answer. I feel like yes or no. But it's kind of hard not to be more regimented when you go through something that changes your life. Like, I need to do this in the morning so I feel better at night. I need to do this when I first wake up so I can go run. Like I need to drink a bottle and a half of water so it was able to flush out my system to detox me a little bit so I can go do this tempo run today. You know, and before this, I would like, okay, just wake up, go out the door, don't even think about any water or anything, and just go. And now it's Now I'm just planning out, okay, I'm not going to eat before this time, because if I do that, tomorrow is going to be all messed up. So I will say I've been it's been helping planning a lot more. That I have a plan, but I would also say in the past, like I was very regimented. I was probably only regimented about my training before this, and now it's all day, like work. I'm good. Like I have like my schedule all padded down. After work, what am I going to do? Okay, let's get some social life in me, because that's going to help me really, like, it's not all about training anymore. Like, so I would say I broadened my life a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's like, it's just this idea of perspective and experience, right? Like when you're faced with something, you just kind of do it. And everyone has these different circumstances, and their lives are a way that they are now because of their experiences that they had. And that's just kind of like what happened to you, right? It's like, okay, now it's not better or worse. It's just like what you have to do.
Yeah.
To kind of get through it.
Yeah.
You mentioned like some social stuff. What are like in your mind, is there like a next step in this process that like you can kind of explore or discover? I mean, it would be new, so you might not know what would be on the forefront, or do you kind of see things kind of being this way for a while, and just like if things pop up again, you'll deal with them? Or is there steps in the process of kind of getting back to what would be your new normal or whatever?
I haven't really thought of that. And that's a good question. I would have to think about that more.
Yeah.
I've honestly, like I said, I've planned it more, but also I'm just like, I used to be very much like, I'm not, as soon as work goes over, I'm going home, doing a training run, and then I'm going back to bed so I can do tomorrow. So now I'm much more like, okay, it's like, I always plan I'm going to go home and do something training wise, but it's like, okay, a friend says, hey, you want to go out to eat or whatever, you want to go golf or something, I'm very much more now say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to feel well next week, so let's have fun right now. Let's get some memories. Then that's been really healthy for me. I think I was so dedicated in my training that I was, you talk about people that like top people in their sport. They're like, I didn't have much of a social life, but I still think you need that you need that in you. You need people. Like I always said, like I was very self-motivated. I didn't need anybody, but like after this happening, I was like, hey, I need friends to lean on. I want to go out and, not focus on my body, not focus on what's happening to me, not focus on training, like just have a little bit of fun now.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And making sure you know what's going, because like, again, you've had that perspective shift of like,
I'm not just an athlete.
Need to take care of me as a person. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I guess it'll be interesting to see like what would be an appropriate step next, or things that you might have not been doing before that you can kind of move into now. Nice. So what is, and something that we talk about here and there is like racing. What do you think? What are you thinking about that? You don't have to say any specific plans, because who knows?
No, who knows?
But are you starting to think about it?
I mean, yeah. I've been thinking about when I was I talked about this when I was in the emergency room. I pulled up my race schedule and I said, I will be back by this date. This is I want to race. Obviously, I don't have that same mindset, but I'm like, I'm still going to race this year. Like, if it's coming up soon, if I see a race that I feel like I'm fit for, that I can do some damage at, I'm going to go do it. Like a couple weeks ago, I had the mindset, I'm not going to come back till I'm 100% ready that I can get back on any podium that I want to. And now I kind of shifted. It's like, if a race pops up and I'm fit and I'm healthy and I feel confident, let's go see what I can do. And I'm like, the races in the fall, let's get really fit for those races I want to do in the fall. And like, let's rip it, like I'm excited. I'm more excited now to race than back in January and February, and I was in the best shape of my life. I was nervous then. I'm not nervous now to race. Like, I don't care. I just like this.
Right.
Again, I step back. Like this still is a blessing to race. Like a lot of people don't get to do this. A lot of people don't get to travel the country and do a passion that they have, like something they have passion for. Like I shouldn't be nervous. I should be grateful for all right, the Nashville race in October. I finally I'm not I was nervous even a year before when that race come out. I knew I was living in Nashville. I was nervous. What if I don't win and represent where I live? And I was like, I don't care about that. I just I want to be back out there and see my friends. And put up a good effort.
It's funny, man. Like the things that we put on ourselves, you know,
Yeah.
like the pressure that is like, yeah, because really in the scheme of what matters, like racing, pretty small. Even if that was like I guess maybe if it was our primary mode of income, it'd be a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but still, like in terms of like what stakes are there, there's really not much on the line, you know, and it should all be for the enjoyment of it. I mean, everybody has their own reason why they're going after it, but yeah, I feel that too. I feel like that's something that, like the whole COVID year, I had a lot of time to work on and like not worrying about how well I was going to do and just like being excited to run a race for the sake of seeing like how much I can push myself and having the different shift in perspective. So dude, it's going to be awesome when you can race again. I
know. And I might be racing sooner than anybody thinks. So
man,
and if you see me there, I'm ready. I'm going to throw down. Like I have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Stay locked into TORC on Instagram to get all the latest updates on Ryker when he's going to be out there racing, kicking butt. Or maybe it'll just be a pop-up. Maybe nobody will know. Maybe he'll just arrive.
It's probably going to be that. Nobody's going to know.
Yeah. Like, wait, is that Robert Killian? No, it's Bracken. Wait.
Yeah, Bracken.
No, is that...
Who's the other bald, pale guy?
Yeah,
Ryker.
It's Ryker, right? There's 3 of them now. Mm-hmm. You guys get you need one more for a 4x4. Put in who would be the 4th bald?
If Woods wants to shave his head more.
Oh man, one time I was
or if you want to shave your head.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
But I'm too tan to be on your team.
Okay.
One time I was racing in Palmerton, 2018 maybe, and I was in 3rd after like the second big climb, and Woods and Killian were both there, and like I didn't know where they were. Somebody was like, "Hey, you're in 3rd." I was like, "Who's in 2nd? Is he bald? Is he short or bald?" And dude was like, "Both." I was like, "Ooh." I was like, "That's a tough one." That was a tough one. But yeah, that's one thing I want to talk to you about now. Like we've been doing some content stuff. You've been at it with your are we calling it a vlog?
Yeah, I did miss last week. I completely just forgot to film last week.
If you want to have content to share,
you gotta film. I just completely forgot to film it.
You gotta film it.
Yeah,
but that was one thing because I've been doing some stuff on Reinforced Running YouTube, and you watched a whole bunch of the videos you said, and your main takeaway was you should probably shave your head. I was like, of all the things that I shared content wise, that's what you're coming with me. It's like you need to that I need to take it down. I'm thinking shaved will be the mode. I'm thinking about it soon. But
clean up before the wedding, and then after the wedding, let's see.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. That's the deal I'm trying to strike right now because it's not me. I'm not fighting it anymore. But it's just you need to take photos, I guess. Who knows? I might look better. Talk to me about the vlog. What's the idea? What's going on?
So yeah, like we talked about, like I talked for like a year. I should do this. Like every niche in the entire universe has somebody that does a vlog on YouTube. Like it could be anything. And I was like, nobody in obstacle course racing. I'm not going to count Hunter McIntyre. He's not in obstacle course racing. And he has somebody that films everything and edits for him. So I was like, nobody in our sport like films it as it shows their life of trying to be a professional athlete while working. And then I was like, let's document me. I wish I would have documented like my real struggles with ulcerative colitis, but I didn't want to be by a phone or film that at all. That wasn't.
You were dealing with it. You were working through it.
I wouldn't want to. Looking back now, it would be cool to see like a progression of like, I wish I would have took one picture of me when I weighed 148 pounds and like now compare it. But the whole idea is like I started as like a comeback vlog of me leading up to races and like how my life's different. And now it's kind of going to turn more into just like, I feel like a day, like not a daily, but like a weekly vlog of some workouts that I like to do, lifestyle that I like to do, just show what it's like to try to somebody who's wanting to be a professional athlete that doesn't get support at like a professional athlete. Like I have a job, I have responsibilities, I have, but I need to still wake up early and put in this many hours of training a week. So I want to just show that. Definitely the most difficult part is just filming the content because I've never brought a camera out with me to go running, or like, you know, the good like runners that have vlogs, they have people that like drive beside them and like are able to film that. And I'm like, okay, let me put the camera here. I'll do a rep. Let me go move the camera. So it's a headache at sometimes. But yeah, it's fun. You know, it's fun to shoot like a little 9-minute video, and if I get 50 views or 200 views, like, you know, it's whatever. Maybe one day, and hopefully one day it turns out to something that's like, okay, this is one of the first people that did a vlog in obstacle course racing and really showed how to do it.
What I found has been really helpful in terms of creating content is that it makes me think deep about the things that are actually happening and going on, right? So even if it like doesn't lead to anything, like it's still giving you this real sense of what you're doing and how you're thinking. And I think it's like a perfect time for you right now, because there has been this like shift, right? And like your mindset. So now it's like, and it's still close enough that like you're like, oh, that you can remember what maybe it was like before and what it's like now. And then you're really kind of taking time to like think about the way that your life is kind of organized and kind of changing. So I love the idea for like this comeback vlog. I think it's going to be really cool, because I think now that you do have this shift in perspective, it's going to give you some really good time to think on it. So I hope that you are, and like you've been great about sharing it. So I hope that that's part of like the process, is just sharing like the way that these thoughts are kind of changing in your brain.
Yeah.
What made you start doing it after a year of not doing it?
Well, it was like you telling me just to do it, and then other people, like I would always post like, should I do it? And then it was just like, it couldn't be a more perfect time. Like, I'm not training. I am training. I'm not racing. I'm not stressing out about it. I have a little more time at my job. Like, I got a camera. I got a GoPro. So like, it was just like, let's just finally do it. You know,
no reason not to.
Let's put out a video. Let's make it the crappiest editing I can do, and then get better from there. So it's been fun to mess around with it, and now I have content to like all my training, because I never have anything to post. So I just seemed like it was finally a good time in my life. Like I said, like I'm more than just a racer, and I want to share that.
And what you said about like the niche of things, that's the piece that is the niche, is yourself, is like who you are. Like, yes, you are an athlete. You might be the athlete right now who is in obstacle racing, but also sharing their life. Yeah. But you're also you. So like that's the main selling point, regardless of like whatever else is going on in terms of training and racing and things like that. And those are the people you're probably going to connect with. So it's just about like putting it out there. What's been is there anything that's been harder or easier when doing it? What do you think?
I mean, it's just filming it. Like, I did like a hill workout that I filmed, and I was like, okay, I had to go back into my house 3 or 4 times. Like, okay, I got my camera, and then I would leave. Like, I forgot my stand.
So annoying.
got my GoPro stand, and then I get to the place, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to rip my workout. Wait, I got to go run up this hill to go set this camera up. Now I got to run down to the back hill, set this one up, and then I'm like, okay, what if somebody steals my camera? I'm not even looking. Like, it's just like, it's like, what, like, because like somebody walked by me while I was doing my workout, and I just had a camera up there. I was like, what are they thinking? Or like, I don't care what they're thinking, but what is this guy doing? You know, like, so it's been like it's just been like the filming it, because I want to make it look like I have good stuff, but like when you just have a stationary camera, it's like, okay, that sucks. But it's something.
It's something, right? And like learning what can make it better as you go along. Like, it's not going to be awesome right away, you know. Yeah. But it can be. But it's the content inside of what the visuals look like, which is really what's going to matter. But yeah, I agree. It's weird to do. Even though I tell myself that I don't care what that person thinks, I still feel a little silly.
Yeah, like I walked the park across my street, and that's how I usually do my intros, and I have my camera out like this, and I'm talking into it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Somebody's gonna, like, people see me, but and not to like kill the mood, but now since I don't have Wrigley anymore, and I walk in the park and I talk to my camera, it's like, okay, this guy's just walking. He doesn't even have it, like, he's just walking and talking. He doesn't like have anything like mostly I have usually people have their dogs out there. So it's going to it's a little weird now.
How you been feeling?
Sucks. Still heartbroken. Still sucks. But like I'm trying to do the same thing like with ulcerative colitis. It's it was a blessing, like to have Wrigley in my life for those 2 years. Like it was, it's the greatest memories I'll ever have. So try to just, use that as motivation as well to train. And yeah, I guess it's still going to suck for a long time.
Yeah, I honestly can't imagine. We got our dogs close to the same time. And just like the way I feel about mine, I honestly can't imagine what that's like going through it. Are you ready? Are you thinking about getting another dog?
Oh, can you?
You're back.
Yeah, my laptop just said locking and it turned off.
Because you're like running around with the thing. You got to like up and you're like sprinting around. It's probably thought it was in an earthquake.
No, my brother came home, so I was trying to I don't know.
So you started to sprint across the room.
Yeah, so I was making sure. Can you hear me? Is that good still?
You're good to go.
Okay, I didn't know where the phones are at for this phone, so.
We're doing fine.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, man. So again, heart goes out to you for Riggs. I mean, that's so terrible. I honestly can't imagine. Yeah. Is it still like, and I don't know what it's like to what the mourning process would be like.
It's tough. Like, I don't like being home now, honestly, because that's like when I was home, like I couldn't wait to get home from work. Like, okay, boom, Wrigley and I, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go to a bar. We're gonna go to this park. We're gonna go run. We're gonna go play fetch for an hour. Like that's what we did. Like I didn't want to go anywhere ever because it's like I'm with Wrigley. And then if I did want to go somewhere and I didn't have anybody to go with, like boom, bring Wrigley. He's my guy. So there's a little part of me like I was talking to a friend about this. It's like now I get to like when my friends say you want to go do this on the weekend, it's like okay. Now I don't really have anything holding me back because like I would much like don't get me wrong, I would much rather be here with Wrigley and not do anything. But at the same time, it's like you got to just make the best out of it. You can't just stop your life. Like I know it's just a dog, but at the same time, you're like I want to live my life for the Wrigley now. Like he would want me to go have a good life and enjoyable and live. So it's just trying to live that life basically still. You're on mute.
Yeah, and there's certainly an amount of freedom you gain back, but I like not how you want to.
No.
Would you get another dog?
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
It's got like Wrigley was just the perfect dog for me. Like active, running, like let's go do something. Like he was friendly to everybody. You never had to worry about him barking he would bark at people like when they came in, but like you never had to worry about him biting anybody. He loved all dogs. He loved everybody. So it was like, am I ever going to find that again? So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah,
I could imagine.
Yeah,
but overall, man, it seems like you have a lot going on, a lot of things happening in your life right now.
Yeah.
Continually, this has been a crazy year for you for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen these next couple of weeks, next couple of months. I'm proud of you for the way you've kind of held your head up and just been able to plug forward and starting new endeavors throughout this whole thing and just rocking it, dude. So keep at it.
Today's what? The official half-year mark of the year, June 15th.
Is that right?
I mean, June has 30 days, right? So kind of like the halfway mark.
Is that a day? Do people commemorate this day?
No, I just kind of said it.
You figured that out right now?
I spoke it into existence.
Oh my goodness! I feel like I feel like I should do something. Now this is great. We should
So
do this every June 15th.
So first half of the year, I still got second half of a year to do something amazing. That's how I'm gonna have to look at it.
For sure, dude. 2021's been something for you, but we've still got a whole half of good stuff coming. All right, my guy. Well,
I wanted to get your talk about. I don't know how much time you have left here, but the track girl, Shelby O'Houlihan.
I was literally just reading that before.
Yeah.
Before you came on. I don't know, man. Like,
I believe her, and I was just listening to the press call. Like, the amount they found in her is so low, it can only be from like almost food consumption.
All right, so let's just kind of go through it. So she tested positive for this substance called nandrolone, which is an anabolic steroid analog for testosterone. So it can help add fat-free mass. So it helps you add muscle. And it's also kind of like a testosterone replacement. So it would be helpful for any type of athlete. So Shelby Houlihan, who was the best
American middle female distance runner, basically.
Right now,
15 and 5K American record.
She does, right?
And she set the 5K record last summer.
Yes, and so she is primed and ready going into an Olympic year. So she tested for this, and they banned her for 4 years.
She's 28.
She's 28, right? So in 4 years, she'll be 32. So I mean, like, her prime window in that event is probably right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she is claiming to have, like, she got the news and that she was confused by it. So she went back and looked at her food log, and she had a burrito that could have contained pig organ meat.
Yeah.
Offal. I don't get my burritos with offal. You get yours with offal, but pig organ meat?
I don't even know what offal is.
Exactly. They don't have it. They don't have that at McDonald's. They don't have that. But apparently that is, if you eat some sort of organ meat, you can test positive for this.
Because she had it 10 hours before.
Nandrolone? Yeah. And I don't know, what was the circumstances behind her test? Like, did they just call her?
I think it was one of those random ones that the Olympic, like, athletes of USTF get, like, every, like, you know how you have to, as a USATF athlete, you have to say, like, I'm going to be home on these days at this time every single week. And I think that was one. I could be totally wrong, but I thought I saw that. Like, it was a random one. Like, that was her day, because it happened in the morning. And most people say they'll be home at, like, anywhere from, like, 5 to 6 a.m. because they'll always be home. They're sleeping.
Right.
And I think that's where the test happened. I could definitely be wrong on that, though. So I think it was one of those random ones that they get.
So she had eaten the
burrito the night before. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're saying the amount they found kind of corresponds to, like, because it was a tiny amount, a very tiny. And if it was like a full injection, because you usually do it by injection, and it was a full injection, it should be a lot more, like, the amount of it, if I'm getting my facts straight. I followed her for years and years, and this is like this is heartbreaking almost to see.
She did that thing like French Bread Friday or something.
Yeah, and
hilarious.
Gonna probably be could be a medalist at the 5K this year, and the 4-year ban.
The way she runs like the Terminator.
Yeah,
like she like hammers and just looks amazing. Yeah. I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like this would be anything that would be overturned. Do you think? Because people always have these ridiculous excuses for this type of stuff.
Yeah, I believe her. I believe her.
Do you just want to believe her?
I want to believe her too. But Jack Bauer actually messaged me and said, if this was a Jamaica sprinter that said the same thing, would you believe her? And, like, I almost say yes, because, like, she was able to point it out, like, boom, right there, the pork burrito at this restaurant.
She went back and did a whole thing about food logs. She went all the way back to see what it was. And I'm sure they're not going to go to this food truck. It was a food truck.
But they should if they want to just completely confirm it, I feel like. They should. Like, if she's saying this is it, I feel like before you give somebody a 4-year ban, it's something to look at. Like you change her whole life by giving her that ban. Like,
yeah. I'm not sure what their policy is like. I'm sure it is just cut and dry.
Yeah.
Drug.
But I feel like we can all agree, like WADA is somewhat corrupt.
Oh, it's a disaster. Yeah, it all is terrible. So I don't know, man. I was just catching up on it. I want to believe her as well.
Yeah.
But it's just such a bad excuse. It's such a silly excuse that I don't know. I can't imagine it's getting overturned either, which I hope it would, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I got this thing I'll send you. I got this. I'm in a pool, like a fantasy U.S. trials.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send that to you. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like $20 to enter.
Yeah. I only know distance runner, so if it's
you can split it. You can do the full trials where you can do like the throws and sprints.
Okay.
Or you can just do distance. Just do them both. Why not?
All I know for throw is Deanna Price, Saluki.
Is that right?
She's the American record holder in the hammer. So.
There's a dude, Joe Kovacs, who's a thrower who went to Bethlehem Catholic, which is like the school next to where I grew up. So I represent shot put Joe Kovacs. So that's who I'm picking no matter what. Yeah, it's cool. It's like a draft where you pick off of salary cap. So I'll send that to you. Anybody else wants in, let me know. Yeah. I'll send it to you as well.
Just let's say I'm most excited for the trial. It's the men's 1500. Because you see the high schooler who ran a 334, Centrowitz, who just ran like a 336, and he's still the king. Cole Hacker, who just had an amazing kick.
I just saw that. I was watching that today.
Craig Ingalls, Clayton Murphy, who was a medalist in the 800, the last Olympics. Like,
I find myself now rooting for the older dudes, so I'm gonna ride with Centro just because he's like my age.
I'm gonna ride with Centro too. He's the guy. Yeah,
he seems like a bit of like a D, but like he's all right. Yeah. But I'll still root for him. The NCAA track is all up on YouTube now, which is really cool. So you can see all the events. I watched the 10K at 2 times or 1.75 speed today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. What's that?
Kid from Tulsa
passing on the inside. I thought that dude was the dude from BYU was going to do it again.
That kid from BYU is like 25 years old.
That's how BYU rolls.
I know.
He had a mission. He's super tough though. You can't take that away from him. Yeah. So we can get into all day, but I got to roll. So, dude, I appreciate you taking time. We'll catch up, and all right, we'll link to socials, the whole deal. All right, bro. Talk to you soon.
I see ya.